In the last video, we discussed the talent shows of our generation and some of their origins. The stages created to showcase the talents of undiscovered artists in the world, giving them an opportunity to become something special. We discussed the flaws and the imperfections of this formula as well. Now with these shows, there seems to always be a lingering favoritism to singers. More singers have won America's Got Talent than any other talent who stepped foot on that stage. There are more shows about singers than any other talent show out there. And no matter how many come out victorious, not all of them make it. It sometimes feels with all of these singers winning and not getting the clout they are searching for, they can beg for other talent to be given a chance. Sometimes they get it, but not more often than a singer. But there is one group that seems to be left out of this formula entirely. And that is for no good reason besides not fitting into the overarching agenda of what sells these TV shows. But there is one show that defied that stereotype. And it only ever happened once, and nobody knows why. So You Think You Can Dance has been going for 18 seasons, with a short hiatus taken between 2019 and 2022 due to the pandemic. Last Comic Standing ran for 9 seasons, even surviving a cancellation during its early years. Talent shows that are just different and highlight something that isn't just for singers. Probably the thing most missing from this formula is musicians, specifically the bands. They pop up every so often in the Got Talent shows, but they are either family bands or are looked at as more of a joke. Individual musicians have also gotten some attention on the Got Talent shows as of late. Marcin Petrozalik was a guitarist from season 14 of America's Got Talent that went on to the semifinals before elimination. Tokyo Myers won season 11 of Britain's Got Talent in 2011. He was essentially a composer. But not one band has won any of these talent shows. It seems like there is no desire to even give them a chance. In the 2022 season of AGT, Sam Siri performed an original song on the show that went semi-viral. He then disappeared from the lineup despite being pushed through to the next stage of the competition. Apparently, he wanted his band Nicotine Dolls to go on the show, but the producers wanted him to stray away from his band.
Nicotine Dolls, that has been my life and my love and my true love, and that will be how I put music out for the rest of my life. So we got an email saying, hey, do you want to do this show? But they wanted me to just be by myself. No band, no Nicotine Dolls, Sam Siri, just me singing a cover. And I was like, nah. And we went back and forth and finally came to the agreement that I would do the audition by myself, but only as Nicotine Dolls. That would be the act name that came up on screen. And if I got through to the lives, the band would have to come with me. They agreed. They were like, yeah, okay, fine, let's do that. Only that's not what happened. I showed up to the audition and my act name was Sam Siri and I had to tell the producer, wrong. They were like, you gotta do a cover, and I was like, that's hysterical, cause no. They were constantly trying to get me to say that, like, yeah, sure, I have this band, but it's just me. And I'm like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I am representing Nicotine Dolls. Then you wait, because even though you got through on the audition, that's just them filming that, you know? The producers decide whether or not they're gonna air your audition. They may not even air it. You don't know if you're on the show till like 10 days before the audition airs. And unfortunately, up to that point, we kind of had a bad experience because all the paperwork, all the things they were setting through, it wasn't Nicotine Dolls. They kept trying to make the Sam Siri, they kept trying to delete Nicotine Dolls. And I was like, no, you can't. After this back and forth, they finally reach out and they're like, hey, so here's the deal. Your audition's gonna air, but you're an alternate for the live shows. And it kind of felt like they were like, you know what? Meh. You've made this annoying for us, so whatever. The audition airs and like I'm second in the show and they cut half the bridge of the song out and they didn't use any of the other footage that they filmed, and I was like, man, they really just didn't want this audition to go well. And then It did go well because you guys liked it, which meant the world to me, by the way. Now the decision is, do we continue? Because they're having us put together shows like we're gonna be on the lives. They're having us put arrangements together. They're saying that, how do we get the band out here? Entire tone change because the audition did well. But in the end, I didn't want to risk it because I thought that they were going to try to tear the band apart if we went forward with the show.
Hearing about them trying to completely demolish a band that had been together since 2017 is just another example of how these shows cater to one particular demographic. And even though they claim to represent all talent, who knows if they really do? If you search talent show for bands, you get the same shows. But they group bands together with singing groups and a boy band or a trio. That's not the band I mean. I mean the rock band. I mean the garage band, the kids struggling to learn their instrument and to harmonize together, find their sound and create music together. Not choirs, not trios, not a cappella groups, but musicians. There has only ever been one show that I know of that actually gave bands a platform. Now mind you, it didn't even really show off the band's potential, but it was still something. It was still an opportunity for the lesser known and up and coming bands to get a shot they couldn't get anywhere else. That show is Battle for Ozzfest, an MTV original reality talent showcase which premiered in 2004. The goal being that 8 band members from different bands would compete in challenges. They were put on a tour bus where they lived and every week would vote someone off based on the challenges. It ran for 11 episodes with the contestants being judged by none other than Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne, lead singer of the iconic heavy metal band Black Sabbath, who also went on to enjoy a solo career in the 80s and 90s. In the late 90s, Ozzy would start his own music festival, Ozzfest, which was part of the prize for the show. That's why it was such a big deal for an up-and-coming band. A chance at a $50,000 cash prize, brand new gear, a possible record deal, and a spot on the stage of what might have been the #1 music festival for rock music in the world at that time. Since its inception in 1996, Ozzfest became one of the biggest rock music festivals to tour America. It is the stage where some of the biggest bands of the last 30 years have made their mark. System of a Down, Disturbed, Slipknot, Killswitch Engage, Mudvayne, Lamb of God, Trivium, all bands that made their premiere as second stage acts and worked their way up to main stage performers and heavy metal stardom. From 96 up until 2018, the tour had become a landmark for rock festivals. Sharon Osbourne, the co-founder for the event, has teased its return.
Would you ever do it on Ozzfest again? I mean, not just one at this fucking forum, just in a whole Ozzfest.
Like a tour?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Of course.
And I think they should bring back this competition to kick it off. Challenges on the show included attending Ozzfest itself, and when it was over, contestants would have to find the tour bus before 11 p.m.
Oh, did we? I don't know anymore.
No, this is
we're right here.
This is our bus right here.
We
Think our
have
bus
no
is gone.
bus.
They were challenged to write a song in 24 hours and perform it with as few mistakes as possible.
Striving to make it to the end. The end's where it begins.
And of course, recreating the infamous scene that made Ozzy Osbourne himself famous by biting the heads off bats. It sounds like fun, and it sounds like something that a band would possibly be interested in doing for more than just one season. And honestly, there is no reason I could find as to why this show was never given another chance after the first season. It's hard to even find the final 2 episodes, but the others are available online and you can find the records of what happened at the end of it. The winner, Mark Serrano, and his band A Dozen Furies went on to perform at the 10th annual Ozzfest. They released 1 studio album, A Concept from Fire, in 2005, and then disbanded in 2006. Adair Cobley, guitarist for the band Mantis, went on to release a studio album titled Sleep in Your Grave in 2005, and then disappeared. I still listen to that album to this day. They announced the second album in 2007, but then went on a long-standing hiatus up until 2013, where a Facebook page for the band popped up, but no new music. Yet they still perform live shows. None of the other bands on the show went on to do much either. Cinder was a band from North Carolina. The lead singer, Ryan Camp, competed on the show and came in third place. Cinder was around since 1998 and reformed as Curse Your Name in 2008, released 2 albums, and then Ryan would leave to start a solo project. Beyond All Reason was represented by guitarist Ahmed Al-Kurabi. The band broke up and Ahmed went to join Crazy Town. Final Drive was represented by bassist Chelsea Muckerman. Final Drive were never signed and Chelsea left the band shortly after the show. Guilt by Association was represented by bassist Brittany Page Bauk. The band released a single EP in 2004 before the show picked them up, and the band has broken up since the end of the show. Six Deep was represented by vocalist Kelly Abe. Kelly was eliminated second, but the band is still active to this day, yet haven't released any new music in 20 years. Trauma Concept was the first band eliminated, represented by vocalist Jesse Preston. Jesse left the band, but they are still active, yet have also not released any new music in 20 years. There was never another competition for a spot on Ozzfest after this, nor did it lead to the creation of any other possible attempts at doing something like this. When American Idol became a hit, other shows trying to do the exact same thing followed after it. When this left the scene, no one picked up the idea to do it again. Battle for Ozzfest is one of a kind, and it disappeared without a second chance. I'd love to tell you that the reason was poor marketing, bad reviews, low viewership, wrong place, wrong time, but there really is no reason I can find as to why this show is still not around to this day. But we can possibly draw to the conclusion that maybe broadcast and production companies and the producers of these music festivals don't see a value in trying to give bands a shot at making a talent show to showcase themselves, which is unfortunate to consider in today's climate of the overbearing amount of singing competitions. Ryan Camp stated in an interview, "No matter what happens, something good will come out of this. If we don't win, I'm sure something else will come up. Hopefully someone will want to sign us or we'll go on tour with another band." This is a sign of hope, the kind of hope shows like American Idol and The Voice give to those looking to create something with their talents. Not all of these shows shy away from this style of music either. In the 2019 season of The Voice, Myanmar, the winner was a contestant, Novem Hitu, where he auditioned with Slipknot's Spit It Out. He went on to perform songs like Linkin Park's Fate and another Slipknot song, Wait and Bleed. Also in 2019, The Voice Germany would see contestant Stephanie Stuper audition with Lamb of God's Ghost Walking, and shocked most of the judges as she mixed in some clean vocals, which isn't common for a Lamb of God track, and it showed her range. She was eliminated close to the end of the competition after losing a sing-off. These are examples of other outlets in this genre that are embracing rock and heavy metal. This can't be said about the more favored shows, however. In 2015, Aaron Marshall went on BGT, and instead of showcasing a real attempt at his talent, he more so trolled the competition. He performed a screamo rendition of the popular song Let It Go from the movie Frozen.
The star goes bright on the mountains tonight, footprint to Bayside.
He knew he wouldn't be taken seriously, and everyone laughed about it. Amanda Holden having some harsh things to say to the young man.
I found that offensive. I really hope you lose your voice this afternoon.
All this when you know he did it on purpose, but he did it because he knew they wouldn't care. It's sad that none of the bands on the Battle for Ozzfest made it. A band really has to struggle their hardest to make a name for themselves and get any kind of recognition. And that goes for today's music world and back then. I mean, you could even say it was even harder back then. To be frank, this is disheartening. There are talented individuals out there in these bands that deserve a platform and a place to get their shot just as much as a musician or a dog performer. The fact that Battle for Ozzfest was a one-off that never saw another opportunity to showcase talented musicians is one of the most unfortunate cases in reality TV and talent show history.